In this episode of EFT Tapping Junction, you're going to learn how to use a simple technique called the floor-to-ceiling-eyeroll. You'll use this technique to release any stubborn remaining negative blocks and to lock in your successful tapping results. You'll also learn to use this simple tapping technique anytime you're feeling stressed to create a calm, relaxed state of mind and body. In addition, you're going to hear feedback from other listeners about how EFT is improving their lives, and I answer a listener's question about what to do when EFT doesn't seem to work. Stephen Carter here, your host for EFT Tapping Junction. I'm the CEO for Stress Solutions LLC. You can learn more about Stress Solutions LLC at our website, eft-md.com, eft-md.com. This show is for you if you're using emotional freedom techniques or other tapping methods such as thought field therapy, trauma tapping technique, positive EFT, or any other meridian tapping method for your own self-care. This show is also for you if you're a therapist or a coach helping other people. In this episode, you and I will turn attention to a simple tapping technique from thought field therapy developed by Dr. Roger Callahan. This technique is called the floor-to-ceiling-eyeroll. The big idea for this episode is you can speed and enhance results by incorporating a variety of tapping and other energy psychology methods with your normal EFT tapping. The floor-to-ceiling-eyeroll is an example of a technique that can enhance your EFT tapping results. So let's apply the floor-to-ceiling-eyeroll technique for releasing any sense of stress. I invite you to join me as I lead you through this technique. You don't need to take any notes. I have an illustrated one-page floor-to-ceiling-eyeroll guide waiting for you. Simply email me at cartermethod@gmail.com and put in the subject line, "Eye-roll guide." You don't need to put anything in the email's body. The guide is free, and as you're about to experience, the technique is easy and it is effective. Before beginning the actual technique, let's remind ourselves where the 9-gamut tapping point is located. We'll use the 9-gamut point as our sole tapping point for the floor-to-ceiling-eyeroll. Turn your non-dominant hand over with the palm facing down. Make a loose fist and touch the indentation between the knuckles of the ring and little finger on the non-dominant hand with 2 fingers of the dominant hand. You can use the index and middle fingers or the middle and ring fingers of the dominant hand. The Meridian System's triple warmer 3-point you'll be tapping is located about a half an inch up toward the wrist in the soft tissue between the knuckles of the ring and little fingers. By tapping in that indentation on the back of the non-dominant hand with 2 fingers of the dominant hand, you're sure to be tapping on the triple warmer 3 meridian point. The 9-gamut tapping point and the triple warmer are exactly the same point. So let's get an assessment of how stressed you are feeling in this moment. If you're driving or otherwise engaged in activity requiring your full attention, I encourage you to skip the assessment and floor-to-ceiling-eyeroll experience, and you can return when you can give your full attention to the process. Returning to the starting assessment, normally we would use the 1 to 10 or 0 to 10 subjective units of distress or SUD scale to identify the starting stress level. But for this example, simply scan your body head to toe and assess whether your stress level is low, medium, or high. Go ahead, take a couple of seconds, scan your body head to toe. Good. Now assess your stress level. Is it low, medium, or high? Now that you have the beginning stress level, I'm assuming you are seated, so sit comfortably, head erect, back straight, but not in any military fashion. Be comfortable, but have good posture. Keep your head up and erect, eyes straight ahead. Begin to tap the 9 gamut spot on the back of the hand. Close your eyes, take a breath, or allow a loving in-breath, and allow the exhalation, comfortably exhaling. Good. Allow another in-breath, another loving in-breath, and exhalation. Good. Open your eyes, look straight ahead, and drop your eyes to the floor. Send your eyes down to the floor, not your head. Keep your head erect. And as you're sitting with good posture, head erect, and as I count, and you will be counting yourself as you're doing this on your own, I'll count 1 to 10. And as I'm counting, you're tapping the gamut spot, and you're going to bring the eyes up slowly from the floor, looking out as if you were looking way out over the ocean. You'll bring your eyes up from the floor as I count 1 to 10. And as I reach 10, your eyes will be all the way up to 12 o'clock, all the way up as high as they will go. So let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up, and close your eyes and bring them back to the center. Open your eyes. Good. Now switch hands. You're going to tap the gamut spot on the dominant hand with 2 fingers from the non-dominant hand. So begin to tap. Allow a loving in-breath and a comfortable exhalation. Drop your eyes down to the floor. Again, keep head erect with good posture. And as I count, bring your eyes up all the way to the very, very top. So let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to the very top, looking at the ceiling. Now close the eyes and bring the eyes back to the center. As your eyes are closed, allow again a loving in-breath and out-breath. Now stop tapping. And now, yawn, sigh, stretch. Give it a yawn, a sigh. Stretch those arms way out, up, out, and another yawn. And finish off by saying, release and peace. Now, bring your awareness back to normal attention and do a head-to-toe scan, head-to-toe to check your stress level. And notice how calm, how relaxed you're feeling. Good. So when do you use the floor-to-ceiling-eyeroll? You can use it at the conclusion of an EFT tapping sequence to finish off any remaining remnants of the issue being tapped for, and, as we just did, you can use it as a quick stress reliever anytime you notice your stress level is beginning to climb. The floor-to-ceiling eye roll really does belong in your EFT tapping toolkit. Let's now turn our attention to tapping Talkback. I received some wonderful emails from listeners. Here are a few samples. This one is from Ellen, who is a licensed social worker. She said, "Hi there. Thank you for the tremendous resource of your podcast. It is a huge benefit to myself and the clients with whom I share it to reinforce treatment. Would you kindly send me the trauma reference sheet? Thank you so much. Be well, Ellen." Ellen is referring to the trauma tapping technique, or TTT, one-page guide I discussed in episode 10, Tapping for George Floyd's Death and Related Events. You'll find that episode and all of our episodes available at EFT-MD.com. Once on the website, select the EFT Tapping Junction tab, and you'll see all of the episodes. You can also, of course, subscribe there as well. Our next email is from Michelle, and she writes, "Just popping by to say hi to let you know that the podcast is awesome. I love it. I've used EFT with my clients over the years and appreciate learning more from you. Hope all is well with you during these challenging yet revelatory times." And it's signed, "Peace, Michelle." I do know Michelle personally, but I do want to let you know I did not ask her to send this lovely email. It was not solicited. I had no idea Michelle was a listener. Michelle is a biodanza dance instructor. She's a coach, a hypnotherapist, and a whole lot more. You'll find her website at lifedance.me. That's www.lifedance.me. Next, we hear from Sharon. "Steve, thank you. I followed the butterfly hug tapping for stress, and it is wonderful. Have had a few things happen lately and trying lots of things to reduce stress and reactions to certain things. This is just a special edition." And she signs it, "Best, Sharon." Sharon, thank you. The episode she is referring to is episode 8. Butterfly hug tapping for stress release. And in that episode, you'll learn how to get a one-page guide for butterfly hug tapping to relieve stress. It's a great way to relieve stress. It's simple, it's effective, and like EFT, you can use the butterfly hug tapping to treat issues just as you would with standard EFT. Next up, we hear from Mike. Mike writes, "About 10 years ago, stumbled onto EFT YouTube David Childress. Then I heard your podcast 2 weeks ago, and I was floored how much you know about this amazing technology. I used your GF trauma, and again, this relates to the trauma tapping technique I shared in the George Floyd episode. It is miles above the rest. Thank you so much. Best, Mike." I would love to hear how EFT is making a difference for you. Email me and share your story. Email me at cartermethod@gmail.com. Now let's move to the Your Tapping Questions Answered segment. Yvonne writes, "Steve, what do you recommend doing when tapping doesn't seem to work? I've been trying to use it to help with issues around my mother. She's now dead, and there was so much pain around our relationship. I'm not able to let go of it. I've had great results using EFT for other issues, but no matter how much I tap, I'm still angry with my mother every time I think about her." Yvonne, thank you. This is a great, great question. What to do when EFT doesn't seem to help is a topic that deserves its own dedicated episode, and I'm going to talk about this topic in depth in a future show. But for right now, here are a few preliminary suggestions for you and anyone else experiencing the same problem. First, make sure you're tapping on specific individual memories of problem experiences. One common mistake is tapping on global issues rather than targeting specific memories. disempowering beliefs, or other problem issues. Think of an archery target with concentric circles. The bullseye in the center of the target is the specific genesis memory, belief, or issue you're aiming toward. For example, tapping on "my mother never loved me" can be way, way too broad. It's the outside circle on the target. Tapping for "my mother never listened to me" is slightly better, but it's still unlikely to create the change you're looking for. Tapping on "when I was 10, there was this time I came home from school with a perfect spelling test paper. I was so excited to show my mother, but she briefly glanced at the paper and said, 'Well, you must have been lucky, or you copied from someone else's paper,' and she turned her back on me." It was at that moment I knew she really didn't love me. That is your starting bullseye tapping issue. There will likely be other problem memories you'll need to tap on, but finding and neutralizing the genesis memory will open the healing highway to ultimate transformation of acceptance and forgiveness. If you can't seem to identify a genesis event, simply tap on the memories your subconscious mind serves up. After neutralizing a few of those memories, you're going to likely experience a noticeable reduction in emotional intensity associated with the larger disempowering belief. A second suggestion, and one I highly recommend, is to work with another practitioner. Many issues can be resolved with self-care tapping, but if a problem is pernicious or even persistent, working with a properly trained and skilled practitioner can result in rapid and permanent transformation. For really, really difficult issues, it can be a challenge being the practitioner and being the client at the same time. There are many other ways to get unstuck when an issue doesn't seem to resolve with tapping. I'll be doing a full future episode on what to do when tapping doesn't seem to work, but give these two suggestions a try and let me know how it goes. To listen to previous episodes of EFT Tapping Junction and to learn more about Stress Solutions LLC and how personal coaching may be for you, visit our website at eft-md.com, eft-md.com. Remember to get your free one-page floor-to-ceiling eye-roll guide. Simply put eye-roll guide in the subject line of an email and send it to me at cartermethod@gmail.com. I encourage you to share this episode with others who you believe could benefit. You can, of course, subscribe at zero cost wherever you get your podcasts and by visiting eft-md.com and clicking the EFT Tapping Junction tab. All of those previous episodes, they're there waiting for you. You can also get a number of free one-page guides for many of the techniques I share in those episodes. Until our next visit, your host here, Stephen Carter, CEO of Stress Solutions LLC, asking you to create joyful living one tap at a time.